Hello. I am getting started. So hopefully everybody's day is going good. My day is going fairly decently. Um, we are just getting all the updates and stuff going. Okay, so we'll get started here in just a moment. And then we'll be playing Zomboid. And then I do intend on playing Schedule 1 a little bit later, like, a little bit after. So that is the plan. But yes, hello. Hopefully everybody's good. I'm good for the most part. Um, yes, I'm gonna try to make an effort to go into this scene to start as often as I can. I know it's April 1st. I don't really do April Fools unless I feel like it usually. So, no April Fools for me this year. I've done it before to several people. Like sometimes I'm in the mood for it. Some years I'm very playful in that way, but not this year. So, yes, let us swap to this one here, and let's get started. Let's see. Just some years I'm playful and I do April Fool pranks, but congratulations on the first. Do very much appreciate folks like who race in to get that. Um, but yes, we'll get started on some rat racing here. The plan is to do some rat racing. Um, Yeah, be warned, it is April 1st. So if people are being weird, ask them. Are you actually fooling me? Is this actually? And then they'll say, "No, no, I'm serious." And then later on they'll text you and or message you and be like, "Oh, no, no, it was April Fools." So anyways, because that does happen a lot. There's a lot of people that get really silly around it now, and they do a bunch of silly things. Which I mean, like I said, some years I'm playful with it. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. It just depends. This year is one of those years where I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Also, I got to see some folks do some fairly interesting April Fool's Day pranks. Some streamers. Like I said, there are some strummers that are doing some prankage and they can enjoy. And it's pretty good. It's been some of them are pretty funny and pretty clever and hilarious. I accidentally deleted my whole run. I hope that's April Fools. I really do. So I don't want you to have lost your run, Nico. Starting again, you'd have to start over. That would suck. Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, let's get on with it, shall we? I did forget it was April Fool's Day as well. I had to be reminded thanks to the when I woke up. There was a lot of stuff that went on with some other folks, like, and they reminded me it was April 1st because they were being weird. I was like, wait a second, you're being weird. And then I'm like, I look at the calendar because I was looking at the calendar for my schedule stuff, and I was like, wait a second, it's April 1st. Oh God. And then I asked them, I'm like, are you actually pranking me? Is this an April Fool's Day prank? Please, I need to know. And they're like, okay, yeah, yeah, we're pranking you. I was like, okay, that's fine. That's cool. It's just, it's like, gosh. Anyways, um, part of they changed their font to Comic Sans. Oh my God. They should have changed it to what, Webdings or something. Or a description. Maybe the description should all be in Webdings. Anyways, but yes, so we're gonna be doing some rat racing and then we're gonna be doing some tea selling, and that's the intent of today. I'm gonna hit my goal for today. We'll see how long it takes me to hit the goal that I've set. I very frequently don't mention the goal, like, because I don't. you know, in case I decide to change the goal halfway through, I don't want to, you know, based on what outcomes. Like sometimes I think there's a lot of zombies in an area and there just aren't. So sometimes I lower the goal, sometimes I raise the goal. It just depends, right? I'm hoping we make it to the gas station, fingers crossed. And then I'm also hoping that we can actually loot the school. Um, those are two things, and so we also need a little bit of gas in the beginning to start a generator, and then after which I'm going to start. I kind of hope we find electrical one, so that I can actually start taking apart the watches in more confidence. But that said, if we don't find it, I'm just gonna start taking apart watches. I've already been taking apart watches. It's just we'll be taking apart more. So that's the plan. But yeah, hopefully everybody's Tuesday is going well. Is it Tuesday? Um, yeah, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Okay. Or at least for now. It's Tuesday for now. My days of the week get bungled unless I'm not unless I'm actually actively looking at the calendar, which I am right now because I'm getting ready, gearing up to start working stuff, like doing like work stuff. So I was like, okay, work stuff's beginning. It's gonna slow me down quite considerably in terms of a lot of things. I'm not gonna have as much energy, so I'll probably only be doing Rat Race, and then also, you know, I'll be doing the updates. But I won't be the only one because we've been, like I said, we're assembling the team for the updates leaderboard update squad is what I've dubbed it. So and so far it's a small group of people, but I'm waiting on several of the responses still. So there's still a few folks that need to either message me yay or nay, and if they do yay, then that's great, and if they do nay, then that's fine too, because sometimes we get busy in our lives and, you know, it's not possible to participate in that kind of way, right? So, you know, you have time for the rat race itself, or maybe you don't even have time for the rat race itself, but you know, you have time for the leaderboard, or maybe it could be the other way around. You never know. Anyways, yeah, exactly. I need to cook these and set up a couple more baseball bats because I do not have enough. And hopefully we also pop long blunt level 10. So that's that's something I'm hoping for as well, which actually it took quite a bit of kills to get it done. Remember, this is a skill that I have a point in. So perhaps I'm overestimating how, like, I have significantly overestimated the amount of points we're going to need there. So I think, based on my formulas, I guess maybe it's better that I overestimate than underestimate. But, you know, in this case, in most cases, I like to overestimate because then you always have more to work with afterwards. Yeah, hopefully you're having a good day, Nico. I figured you'd be streaming. You taking the day off? Or are you streaming later? You might stream later, right? Me? Yeah, you couldn't be. Then who? Oh, you work today? Oh, wait, it's Tuesday. Darn it. I forgot. I see, this is what I mean about my whole thing about not remembering which day of the week it is. It's Tuesday. I mean, we just had a conversation where I'm like, I know your availability is on the weekends mostly, blah blah blah, and yeah, exactly. It just immediately out of my brain. My brain likes to discard what I deem as it's not useless information, but it's excessive information because my mind goes, and I do have ADHD, and you know my focuses are constantly shifting. I just am very, so I'll discard certain things and immediately day of the week gone from my brain the second I stop talking about it. It's like immediate. There's not even a second. Oh, you got medications. I've never been put on meds, and I never had meds for it. It's one of those things that I have coping mechanisms there that I use to kind of keep me stable. And then I know I have certain quirky nuances, and I make do with the quirky nuances the best I can. So I'm, we do the best we can with the skills that we have, and take note of where our flaws are. Best we understand. You should have given them. Do you mean month? Or are you playing schedule one as well? But yeah, the meds definitely probably help for quite a lot of folks. They would stabilize you, and then you're not gonna be as out there. Okay, that seems kind of good. It's a stabilizer though, right? That's you can correct me if I'm wrong because I don't know, but I would assume it's some kind of stabilizer that it will hone the focus a little bit because ADHD very frequently is just or at least my variant on it is it would calm you down essentially because you're constantly go go go. But then you also have your other stages of yeah, because it's not always go go go. It's not quite like bipolar. Bipolar is much more like a heart monitor. Boop boop boop. But it's like yeah. Exactly. It gets you to focus on things that you would take less interest in, and or like I mean even if you have interest in something, it can be tough to keep steady in it. It's weird. For me, when I was doing lots of coursework, I actually ended up having to create little games for myself in order to be able to do the course load in a timely fashion. So one of the games that I came up with was a card game where I had my because I used to be a bit like I had a bunch of different kinds of cards growing up. I had like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I had Magic cards, I had Pokemon cards, etc. Anyways, I had a bunch of different versions of land for Magic cards, and I would take those cards and then I would draw one, and it would be base like there. I had a list of different criteria that I would have to do based on the random card that I got. So I would shuffle a bunch of cards together, use that, and then I also had dice, and I would roll the dice, and then the dice would be like, okay, well, this is the amount of that you get to do based on it. So, like, 5 minutes of this or 10 minutes of that. And then, I would also include a video game or something as one of the options. So it was like a tiny reward if I managed to get that one card, but I also made sure that the probability of getting said card was much lower than so that there was always that carrot that's inside the deck that could give me, oh, I get 10 minutes, and then it set a timer and I would go. And but yeah, it's neat. The different styles and then the different gradients that exist within the said styles of each thing, right? And then understanding how to kind of knowing yourself. And I'm sure that I probably could function better on medications of some kind, but I just don't. I like my family didn't want to do that. I didn't like they were against that. It's one of the things. They're like, no, no meds. And then they switched. Okay, see, that's good. Yeah, it definitely does vary. Trying to be mindful of the zombies that might show up. There we go. But yeah, it depends. Maybe I will get medications for it at some point in the future or something. I don't know. It's a, but at this stage, I probably don't need it, or maybe I do. I'm not sure. I wouldn't know. Because that's the thing. You don't really know how you will react to certain medications and certain other things, right? Um, it could make things better. It could make things worse. It definitely is interesting. Yoy. I'm confused. What's annoy? Did I set my title wrong? Let me see. No, I don't think I did. I think everything's good. Are you okay? Or did you mean to say hi and you put noi? It's good that Bubba's having a better time at school, though. That'll make it a lot better in terms of totals and being able to actually get through the course load and all that. That's solid. It's good to hear. Because I remember going into school with the mentality when I was very, very young of, wow, this is really cool. And I used to be like really, really, really good at school and really interested. But gradually, I realized that a lot of the public school stuff that I was doing was completely, and like, it just not. It didn't feel like it was worth it to me. But then, I still graduated and still progressed. It's one of those things where, despite it being kind of, because you don't get to do things that you enjoy and that are around the, or at least we didn't. School systems may have changed, but we didn't get to do things that we enjoyed as much. Like, I liked a lot of the subjects, but I just felt like a lot of the time it was just, there's certain things where I would ask, okay, well, what's this? And I would get, you don't need to know that now. You don't need to know that. So when do I need to know it? It's a frustrating thing. That's why I very much appreciated several types of teachers growing up. Because there were some teachers that, they get it. Give me an answer, and that's it. You don't have to be mysterious about anything. When am I going to use this? Oh, in this, and that. Okay, well that makes more sense. Like, a lot of the formulas and stuff in math, there was like, okay, well when am I going to use it? Okay, well you use it in these kinds of professions, as well as it's just useful to have in general because it's a foundational thing that you'll be able to bring forward, and it'll help you understand other things later. Like, okay, that's a sound, reasonable response. I had some teachers, though, that were very vague about saying, oh, you'll probably need it later on. It's like, no, that's not a good answer. And then some folks that, thankfully, I hope they're not teaching anymore, were very much just like, be quiet and do the work. I was like, okay, well, that's not what I wanted to hear. Because teachers and parents are not raising children. That's never, ever what they're doing. You're raising an adult. That's what you're doing. You raise an adult to be functional in society. You don't raise children. You're building an adult human. That's what's happening. And if if you do it in a fashion where that particular individual will not be functional, then that's not good, right? They can't be kids forever. They got to become adults. And that's where a lot of our stuff stems from. A lot of issues. Perspective, very important. You were playing on the same RuneScape account? How did you get his RuneScape account information? Busted for account sharing? Is it not allowed on RuneScape to share an account? That's funny. You just kind of assumed? But that's not good. Don't assume things. You gotta know the answer. You don't know the answer. That's it. What if you're wrong? That's it. It's over. You just can't assume. You gotta find out. House hippos. If you don't know what a house hippo is, look up house hippos. It's a commercial that existed a long time ago, and it is 100% awesome. I want house hippos to be real. They're so cute. I do want them to be real, but that's the whole thing. Is there was a lot of those kinds of ads that used to exist for Canada and for a lot of other places probably, but they were ads that were for awareness essentially. Check your facts, make sure that you're understanding things. There was a lot of other ones that like stay alert, stay safe. There's the don't put it in your mouth kind of thing, like, if you don't know what it is, don't eat it, and stuff like that. There's a lot of those, and they were. I don't know. Are there things like that nowadays for youthful folks? Do they get the same things? Obviously, their information pool is much larger than ours was and that's how progress grows, right? Is because they build on the foundation that we had, and so on and so forth, right? The house hippo one? Yeah, it's a nice one. They're all pretty good. Enrico. Yeah, it's one of those things. Okay. Just harassing Nico. Yeah, I understand. And also, it's April Fool's Day, so it's one of those days where people are pranking people in general. Just be sure to make sure that if somebody doesn't know that you're pranking them, that they do find out eventually. Because there are some people that are bad at recognizing jokes. Some people that are bad at recognizing jokes. Sounds like you. Sounds like me too. I went like way far away. I didn't need to go this far away. I'm gonna eat some food though. Let's relax, have a meal. I'm gonna forge this bit as well to see if we can get some more food. Almost on cue. But yeah, it's there we go. Perfect. Let's get back over there and keep bonking the zombies. Hopefully we can hit my goals for today, and then I'll play schedule 1 after. So like if folks are curious about where our status is in schedule 1, I just unlocked the bungalow, and I learned that NPCs in that game, like the employees that you can purchase, can do so much stuff. So I'm going to be redesigning everything kind of when we play that game. Like I'll be reorganizing everything, trying to get things to be a bit smoother. And then I am going to keep the botanist in that other apartment. I'm going to turn the motel into a bedroom. So it's going to be just a sleeping area. And extra storage. So I'm just going to have storage boxes and stuff there. I was thinking about it last night before I went to bed. Also, Emma's brand new PC has been built, and my PC in Sweden is basically built as well. So just to give a small update on that. So I've got a brand new PC waiting in Sweden already for me. We're going to be putting the rest of the bits and bobs together. So like the monitors, the microphone, etc. All while we're waiting for paperwork to be completed. So I have paperwork that are being completed. Oh yeah, I can not only raise my hands, like I can, and it's not just one hand. I can count. I can wave. I can clap my hands. And finally, I can yawn. Yeah. All things that are kind of tough to do with a like my model is a 2D model. So if you're familiar with tubing, 2D models and 3D models are a little different. 3D models, actually, they're able to be a lot more active in their movements. They're a lot, they record a little bit more, and they have a lot more stuff, right? Meanwhile, 2D models are a little bit more complicated, it would seem, in that sense. Like if you're trying to do that kind of stuff. Because it's like simulated 3D. And we may do a 3D model for me at some point, maybe, but it's not a priority right now, and I'm happy with my model as it is. It's fine. My priority right now is going to be to move across the world to be with Emma, hopefully this year. Fingers crossed. If everything goes exactly as I want it to, it should be a smooth-ish transition over there. But we'll see. You thought it was 3D? No, I'm a 2D. I use I use VTube Studio in case anyone's curious or you want to get into tubing or stuff like that. And I'm quite transparent when it comes to how things work, adjusting stuff and whatnot. My tuber is the reason why I went the tuber route, in case anyone has been curious. Why are you a VTuber? Well, you could just do a webcam. And that is true. But I don't mind doing a webcam. I don't mind being on stream, on visual and all of that. But this is future proofing for the future when I'm with Emma. Because when I'm with Emma, I'm going to, if Emma wants to come on screen and give me a hug and stuff like that, there's no issues, right? Because Emma's autistic, as well as Emma's wouldn't want to be on stream. Emma's been on stream as a voice before, but like a long time ago, but wouldn't be as interested. Emma is more likes to play games, but wouldn't want to be a streamer or anything involving that. So I want to very much respect that. So that's the reason why. Yeah, Emma's very introverted while I am very extrovert, but also I'm extrovert with an asterisk. Because I can be quite intro as well. But I would say that I'm extrovert with an asterisk. Because a lot of the time, especially when I'm doing things um, I'm processing, and sometimes I'm over processing. So over processing causes me to get quiet. I'm assessing a lot of different things, especially when I've gone to parties and stuff in the past, and I'll be, but then I'll miss stuff too because I focus on things too much sometimes on some things, but miss other things. I hope that makes sense. I hope that it's something that is but yeah, I'm extrovert with an asterisk. And I draw energy from other people as well. But I also can draw energy from myself, and I have a fairly, when I'm healthy and feeling good, I have a fairly deep energy pool I can draw from. Like it is quite hefty. Hefty pool. Endurance is probably one of my better qualities, I would say. However, it can work against me because I can get extremely hyper focused on something and then I can forget to eat, forget to sleep, forget to drink things. Like I can be over the top on that, which is one of the reasons why I have a tea warmer in the first place, so that my tea doesn't ever get cold, because there are some times that I will go hours without drinking my tea. Usually you guys keep on top of me though, and I thank you guys very much for that, because every time you guys do a wellness check, I make sure, have I had a drink recently? Do I need to stretch? Do I have to use the washroom, etc.? These are all important things that I normally would be, like, very, not hesitant to do, but it, like, I can forget. Like, I can forget that I'm human. It's not intentional, it's just, you know, ADHD go burr. ADHD go burr. It can be a benefit, but it can also be, you know, so like it's a two-sided sword. Yes, but yeah, if you end up doing an avatar, then, you know, it wouldn't be too like outside of the realm of possibilities, sort of thing. There's some avatars that you can also just purchase and then just use temporarily if you want to start getting into it a little bit, so that you can start understanding the programming. You know, I'm pretty sure Sui's model is a purchased one. That is just one that you can buy real quick until eventually Sui maybe will commission one. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not. Once again, I can't speak for Sui, but I'm at least that's what I've heard, is that that's how that's gone, right? And then my avatar is commissioned, but it is also something that is that will maybe do an update to it at some point in the future, like a 2.0, like way later on. Right now, it's good for as is, right? A lot of the stuff, like the accessories, the jacket, etc., a lot of that stuff is all custom. And in case you are curious, I have 64, about 64 outfits I can wear, which is not too bad. Have a good stream. No, I'm gonna have a bad stream. Bad stream today. No, I'm just pouting because I know that a particular friend enjoys when I do that. I'm still hesitant. I want to call you by your name, but at the same time, my brain is like, but respect the new name. But then my brain's like, but I can just, but I've been given permission. But it's breaking my brain. But you have a good day at work. I know you wouldn't care either way, but it's one of those things that my brain is overdoing it and thinking too much about it. All right, let's have a rest, and then we'll get going. Let's go have a sleep. I wonder if I can secure one of the closer houses. Probably. We're getting close. I was updating the scoreboard yesterday, right? And it didn't take me long. It took me like just a short little while to do it. Because there was only a handful of submissions, right? Um, and then at the end, I close it down. I get ready for bed, right? I'm laying in my bed, and then I'm like, oh, wait a second, I didn't update my own score. So I was like, okay. And when I woke up this morning, I was like, did I do it this morning or did I do it last night? I don't remember, but I remember I was like, oh, I didn't update my own score. Oops, because I forgot to post. So I'm gonna ask that the folks that are going to like, if we don't have time, I've mentioned it to the rest of the leadership board, or sorry, not leadership, the leaderboard update squad folks, or at least one of them, and I'll probably mention it to all of them. But we'll if we don't have time, we can submit our own runs to the document too, and then someone else can update for us because I might forget to update my own. So it's like, okay, well, it's just convenient to have that document there so that I don't have to update my own. If I don't remember, that is. It was just awkward. It's like, oops. Update everyone else, forget to do yourself. But yeah, that document is for anybody who streams. So like, I mean, I've seen a couple of folks streaming with the rat race tag that they've not submitted at anything yet. It doesn't matter if you've got like, if you feel like your score is not good enough. That's so silly. It's like, I mean, you can get to your own personal best and then you can beat yourself. The leaderboard is meant to be for fun. It's not meant to be like this is all be all and end all super duper serious thing. And yes, sure, we are going to create a prize pool for the rat race eventually. But like I mentioned previously, the even the person who's in first right now, which is Twist on Fire, is still under 10% of completion, like to the challenge. And it's been like a month. It's gonna take a few months to get even close to at the very least. Do I need to feed you? Not yet. Okay. So let's. Oh, I dropped it. But yeah, so we'll get there eventually. And there will be a prize of some kind. I'm looking forward to it. Some folks have even offered ideas like 3D printed stuff and whatnot, like little tiny trophies, which sounds cool. But once again, it'll be something that we figure out later on. And that it does sound like fun. Or like something like an art piece that can be framed of your character triumphing. That'd be kind of neat. We'll see. I've got ideas rolling around in my head that I'm gonna put in through the brainstorming later when we start actually focusing on that a little bit. But we're still in the early stages, so it doesn't matter. It'll be a similar prize pool at the very least. But yeah, I'm not actually gonna have a bad stream, by the way. As it's April Fools. April Fools. I don't think I've had very many bad streams. Like a handful. Very, very small amount. April Fools. Be careful of April Fools. They're happening everywhere. Mm. What am I using the alarm bag for? Or the watch bag? That particular one there keeps my house safe. So where I'm sleeping, the zombies that would wander into that section, they will get stuck on the watch bag. So they won't come into my home area. Hello. Meanwhile, there's actually two other watch bags that are around. One of them is in the north section of the commercial district. The other one is actually over here by the school. It's set to every 30 minutes, so there's 48 watches there. Hi, by the way, in case I didn't say hello, I'm pretty sure I did, but sometimes I'll say stuff in my head and it doesn't make it out, and if that happens, I'm sorry. I think I said hello though. But yeah, so it's 48 watches. You can increase the amount of sticking power by putting more watches in. So the way that it works is if you do watches every 30 minutes, that's the best. Like that's the standard watch bag is 48 watches set to go off every 30 minutes. But by putting it more watches, you increase the sticking power of the watch bag, meaning that there's more sounds going off, so the zombies will stay there more, right? Um, but I don't know the amount of watches it takes to overpower a generator. And that's something I should test in the future. Because I've already tested generator versus car. Cars have larger pulling radius, but once a car is parked near a generator, that's the generator wins. Like in terms of amount of ticking. What I mean by that is the zombies will that approach, let's say a generator is this here, and this here is a vehicle, right? And they're within vicinity of each other in terms of loading area. The zombies will crowd around the generator because it has more sounds going off, essentially. Like it is ticking every... I don't know how often generators tick, but it ticks way more than the engine ticks. Engines do tick a lot, though. But I had that tested on... I can't remember if it was my PB run or if it was another run that was similar. But... what's the radius? The radius depends on your hearing of the zombies. So the hearing of the zombies, if it's poor, if it's deaf, they can't hear it, so it doesn't matter. But if their hearing is poor, then they, it's a lot less. If their hearing is normal, it's between 7 and 8 tile radius. And on pinpoint hearing, it's between a 21 and a 24 radius. So it is fair size for pinpoint hearing zombies, making watch bags essentially very effective against the pinpoint hearing zombies. Be warned though, if you put a watch bag in an area that has a lot of zombies, they might all move around it, and then they might actually exceed the radius, and some of them will spread out. Also, if you leave the area, migration will kick in on those zombies based on your migration settings, and they'll spread around the cell. Meaning, if you leave the area, the watch bag despawns, it's not there anymore, so they'll spread out. You wonder how it applies the engine sound multiplier? It's based on a lot of things. Like, there are a lot of things that go into the engine sound. It's got how much you're revving the engine, your traits play into it a little bit. Sunday driver versus nothing versus speed demon. The engine quality plays into it. If there's a muffler there, that plays into it as well. It's a really complicated but interesting formula. I know a lot of the inner workings of the game, kind of, but I remember that anything I say, especially now, comes with an asterisk at the end of it. So, what I mean is that everything that I say could change on a dime, like because we're playing the unstable build. This is the unstable build, so that means the devs could completely change the system entirely, and then I'm wrong, right? But I'm going based on the information that I've built up over time. And then if I get my information wrong, there are folks that help correct me. And I do sincerely appreciate those folks. You know, folks like Rhett, Lamprey, Bonds. There's a lot of folks that really know the intricacies of the game. And some folks that discover stuff that are new as well, right? And then there's other folks like the code divers and folks like the modders that also go into the code quite deeply as well. Those folks are very much appreciated. And then there's just other folks that are really good at programming and understand the language. I just play the game a lot. And then I have a very soft understanding of code from years of Minecraft. And having to fix my hardcore worlds and also having to fix some zomboid worlds too. But, you know, that doesn't happen too often. But I've hit some corruption snags, and I've also had some issues in the past. So it's one of those things, right? Thankfully, that stuff doesn't happen all too often. Let's go get some rest. Anybody can reach this stage, though, where they know a lot about a game when they put the time in, right? Oh, and I've got to do that poll later. Because I try to do a poll monthly to see what we're up to, kind of thing. Like, to see where the interest lies. It's more just to see if folks are interested in certain things that are going on and stuff like that. And also to, like, I put Frog on there every time just so folks will vote for Frog. Because I like Frog. Frog is good. Sure, you'd love it if I was in the community. I do appreciate that. I very much enjoyed this, but I've enjoyed lots of games, and I kind of when I play a game and I really get into it like this, my heart goes into it, and I really enjoy it, right? And this game definitely has depth and lots of stories that you can create, interesting things that happen, and it's really cool. It's really is The Sims plus zombies plus RuneScape. That's what it feels like. And it's got a great balance, lots of good sounds. Yeah, passion, exactly. And I can burn out as well. Like I can get tired of a game or I can see a game going in a direction that I'm not super fond of and I can like express myself in the best way that I can. A very good example of that would be Overwatch, right? Because I used to be very passionate about Overwatch and very much, used to play every single day. All the hours of my day would either be into work, into sleep, into eating, or into Overwatch. And sometimes things would mix. Like I would eat while I'm out doing work stuff, or I would, you know, it varied so that I could fit in more time for Overwatch. And then very much, even when I'm not playing the game, I'm playing the game. Because what's happening is, a lot of the time is I'm studying different things. I'm looking at different traits. I'm looking, or for specifically for Overwatch, I was looking at combinations. I was looking at exact values. I was looking at maps and their orientations and how and when you should activate certain ultimates together in tandem so that you can basically, create different things. I was very much into the theory crafting. Um, and that's same for PZ. PZ works the same way. You can very much theory craft a lot around PZ. Builds, traits, you know, whether or not certain areas are better, certain weapons. There's a lot of different things. And then on top of that, there's also different pools for different things. Best and effective way to level up certain stuff, with exploits, without exploits. Like, I mean, there's so many different ways to approach a game, right? And it's very interesting. No thirsties. Let's unpack this. Yeah, hopefully everybody's Tuesday's going good. Mine has been very solid so far. I was able to chit chat with a lot with some folks and get a lot of stuff done. like this resort. Before I go this way, let's just... Okay, there is open space there. Good to see. How am I gonna kill a million zombies? One zombie at a time. And you just keep going until you hit a million. Very simple. Am I going to be able to do it first though? I don't know. I don't think so. But we'll see. It's one of those things where it very much depends on perspective. It very much depends on, you know, the other people involved in the challenge and all of that stuff as well, right? Like, I don't know if I can do it first. I'm not the fastest veteran in terms of combat in the community. There are several people that are faster than me. There are some folks that are really, really incredibly fast. Like Twist, Lamprey, Gaz, Bonds. Like, there's a bunch of folks that are just like speed demons when it comes to killing. They can get like between 700 and 1,000 a day, even on build 42. Like, and I'm looking at like maybe 200 to 300 a day, maybe. Sometimes less, depending on my weapons and also depending on what I'm doing. Sometimes I get distracted and I go for several days where I just get 0 kills on repeat because I'm either fixing my weight or I've decided to craft stuff instead, or, you know, it all depends. But it's not necessarily just about speed, right? Speed is but one aspect of the challenge. The other aspect is pacing. It's a marathon. And like I mentioned, those previous folks, they're all really good at marathons. So, about getting it first, don't know. About completing it though, I think I can complete the challenge. And I think anyone can. I believe all of us can if we really want to. It's just a matter of perspective, really. You know, you just gotta have the time, put in a few hours at least every day, kind of deal, and eventually you'll hit 1,000,000 kills, right? The issue is, though, making no mistakes and doing it on one life. Well, that's a little bit harder, right? And then also having a perfect character, and then also the 13, having the 13 outpost under control, right? That's also going to be a little bit tough. And all the outposts are specific. Like, they're all churches except for the one that's a military outpost, right? So we'll have to wait and see. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how the challenge fares in another month. Like, you know, at the end of April, let's have a see what's happening kind of deal, right? Hi, Lardine. How are you? Are you having a good day? How goes? How are you bonding? Okay, nifty. Bonding with the doggos. What are your plans then? Do you plan to like play games? Are you planning to hang out in streams? What are your plans? I'm curious. Gonna chill? Gonna eat a big meal? Ah, nifty. Helldivers. That game is really good. Have they made a map where it combines the bugs and the bots yet? I would love a map like that in that game. I know they've been updating it a little bit. I was hesitant to get back on it after they had their little security breach, though. But hopefully that's all been resolved. No, they haven't done a cross map. They have the ability to totally do something like that. It'd be so cool to see the two factions like fighting, and you have to like get in between, and that there's special missions where, you know, oh, these two are fighting. These two like really powerful commanding, and they're like, you know, they're like the upper level versions of the things, and bugs on this side, the bots on that side. Yeah, I think that would be cool, and a cool way to go about it. Oh, you want it to be the bots versus the Illuminate. Fair. I don't know what that other faction is. It must be a new one, because I haven't played since, because I only played for a short while, and then they had their security breach, and then I hadn't gotten back on since. Oh yeah, like maybe the bots have found a frequency where they've tamed the bugs, right? And then it's bugs and bots, and the bots are improving the bugs like base, kind of like they make their bases harder to breach. They maybe put some blockers that you have to like take out that are special. Maybe they make the bugs bomb proof or something. I don't know. Because the bugs hunters are really were fun to face off against, because those hunters were aggressive. They just take you out from behind, especially on higher difficulties. I think we popped Long Blunt level 10 today, and Nimble level 5. There's a truck there. You have gasoline. No. You have anything in the back? Seltzer water. Do I have any other weapon skills? Yeah, I have a couple, but they're not as strong as long blunt. Currently, my long blunt skills are nearly level 10. Like we're about to pop level 10. However, I've got 2 points in axes and 1 point in short blades as well. As well as we're approaching level 8 in maintenance, and I do have level 4 aiming and level 5 reloading. What weapon skill am I going to do next? Probably axes, just because I've been chopping down trees and it's annoying me that my arms hurt afterwards. And then also, napping. By doing axes, I'm going to train napping. Now, I was going to think about using the flint saw as an axe that I use for napping and also use for being an axe and train with that. But I don't think that that is intended, that the flint saw be such a good axe. But I will see. I'll compare them and we'll have a look at it. But I've heard tell that the flint saw as an axe is decent. I thought that it was more like a really badly napped knife, because it doesn't dismantle and it doesn't make planks. So I'm hoping that that gets changed and that the durability of the saw takes a hit as a result. Like that you can make flint saws, but that they're only good for like a couple of uses, or like 5 or 6 uses maybe, and then they break, and then you got to make another one. It would incentivize finding an actual saw, or smelting and making an actual saw if they ever make making saws a real thing. I don't remember if I could make a saw when I was a high level blacksmith. I don't remember it. If like I don't remember it being a thing. So, and I had blacksmithing fairly high. Like I did train it up quite a bit to be able to do the swords. So, unless they added something, or maybe I missed it, I don't think saws can be created. But I might be misremembering. So that's something that should be checked and confirmed. But yeah, axes probably next. Like I said, I'm gonna compare the three. I'm gonna compare the crude axe to the bone axe, to the hatchet, to the yellow hatchet, to the and I'm just gonna compare them all based on my current character. So based on Van Higgins at level 7 strength, nearly level 8 strength, we'll see how he fares. But of course, that'll be probably in like a few in-game days. I don't know how long this is going to take to level, but on average, we're getting about a couple of hundred of XP every day. So we should be basically done long blunts here very soon, and then I can move on to the next weapon. And then we'll be seeing the same issues that I had last time with long blunt, where it didn't do very well at first, killing per day. My arms were hurting, and then until I got to higher levels, to which then you could see my kill count go from like, 10 to 20 a day to suddenly hundreds a day. Because that's how it happens, right? Things evolve. And the higher your weapon skill, the higher the percentage of less you build up less muscle strain. It's less of a build up because the number is it reduces the number overall. It's crazy how deep the numbers go though. They're like decimal numbers that go for quite a bit. I didn't realize that they went as far down as they do in the decimal chain. Yeah, it's more than 2 decibels. You can actually see it sometimes. Yeah, it goes like way deep, like quite a lot. like 8 or 9 or 10 or something. I don't know. I don't remember how far it actually goes. I just remember that it's fairly decent in terms of its total downward numbers. A very good example would be I highlighted over this and I had 100% XP gain, right? But it was obviously a decimal that was so far down that that this actually couldn't pick it up and it was rounding it. So it said that I had 100% on one of my skills. 100% complete. It's like, wait a second. If I have 100%, shouldn't it skill up? That's an odd choice because it adds memory usage, which is why PZ actually should be restarted every, especially with late, like if you do like really long games, you should say like you should close your game and reopen it every roughly 4 or 5 hours is what you should do. At least that's what I found when I was on my PB run, and what I find when, because the game starts to get janky and there are memory leaks. So what happens is over time, some stuff will break a little bit, like frames will start to slow down during the gameplay. Your sound will start acting weird. It's interesting. I noticed it during my especially when I had like that corpse carpet at the raceway. Not in Irvington, but I mean the racetrack over by Valley Station. I had a really thick corpse carpet. And Hi Barry. The I had to restart my game every 4 or 5 hours. Otherwise, I would get the sound. What would happen is the sound would stop playing completely silent for like a few seconds. And then it would play all the sounds at once and to catch up. So all the sounds would go off. And then it would act like normal for a little while. And then suddenly the sounds would drop out again for a few seconds. And then it'd play them all at once. And then it would return to normal. It just needed a restart because the memory leak was getting pretty bad because my save was too long and too large. And I'm sure that that's what happens if you keep going and keep going and keep going to like a 10-year game, for example. But I don't know exactly, because you got to remember that I have a computer that's fairly okay, but at the same time, it should be noted though that it's my computer's does have a limit. So if PZ hits that limit, then it'll break. It'll cause my computer to blue screen. It could cause PZ to crash. Depends on which type of limit it hits, right? So we'll see. But yeah, just if you find that you're playing a particularly long session of PZ, like, how we are, sometimes we PZ players, we just go all day. Remember to restart your game once in a while. Once or twice a gaming session if it's over 10, or like if it's over 10 hours. You should be doing that anyways. If you're playing games for, let's say 12 hours, make sure to have at least taken 2 breaks. Like where you get up, go to the bathroom, grab your food, beverages, wellness check. That like you guys do for me, but do it for yourself. Wellness check. You guys can do a wellness check. If I remember correctly, I set up the cooldown for every 15 minutes, which in my opinion is not terrible and the reason I set it up that way is actually because I should do a wellness check every 15 minutes to make sure that like I'm doing okay overall. That my muscles aren't aching, that my hands aren't hurting, that my back doesn't hurt, etc. Yeah, wellness. It's important. I'll get a sip of my drink here in a moment. I went too long on reloading because I was distracted, but yeah, when you guys hear my wellness check noise, that you need to do one too, in my opinion. Just, you don't have to get up if you don't need to. Just stretch, check yourself, assess yourself. Do you need a stretch? Do you need a drink? Do you need, like, it's a self-assessment. That's what my wellness check is supposed to be. So I think you guys should do it too. It doesn't need to be every time, but like, I mean, because every time you could be like, yes, I'm good. Yes, I'm good. Yes, I'm good. All right, I'm good to keep playing. But you can see right here, this is an example of the deepness that it goes, but it goes deeper than this, like way deeper. So we lost 6.47 kilograms yesterday, but it goes more. There's more number. That's the daily journal rounding it. Yeah. Chances are we are going to be done with the long blunts here in a moment, and I'm going to try and use up all of these. However, I will take... I want some of these. I want to make a flint saw as well. And I want to make a... flint axe. Because I'm going to try them all and see which one I like best. Because it'll be preference at this point, which one I want to use, but... Because the two-hander, the thing about two-handers is that they actually, if you compare two-hander to one-hander in the formula for muscle strain, one-handers have a 0.6 application. Meanwhile, two-handers have a 0.5 application. So they're a little bit lighter on the muscle strain, but they if you compare them though, they hello. They there we go. I need to drop some stuff, so let's drop one of these. Can I fit both of them in my bag now? I'll drop another one. Oh, I grabbed the window by accident. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So we'll go get food. Yeah, I'm having a good day. Today's been good so far. Get rid of you. Frog? No, not frog. Umber. Long stone knife blade. Interesting. Game's telling me to do short blades. Come on, pretty please. And I'm thinking, maybe, but I do want to train up the napping. I suppose I could make stone knives though. I'll think about it. Right now, it's not priority. Current priority is to get our move on our pushing, as well as if we hit long blunt leveled up, then we'll move onward to the axes right away. Because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, do I want to jump directly into leveling something else? And I could hold off for a while, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter when you do it. Because it's gonna slow down your kill count regardless of when you choose to do it, so. It doesn't matter if you do it now, it doesn't matter if you do it later. Might as well do it now, just get it out of the way. And I could make it easier with the fence combat, kind of, by building a couple of fences and having the zombies climb over them. But to be quite honest, I don't like fence combat. The reason why I don't like fence combat in marathon gameplay specifically, I like it in sprinters, so don't get me wrong. But the reason why I don't like it in marathon gameplay is because it's too risky for me. I'm not good enough at fence combat to not take damage at some point. I mess it up. It's just, I know I'm not good enough. So I don't mind practicing it in sprinters, but when I'm playing a game like this and I'm trying to put my all into it and I'm trying to be super serious about it, I'll fence combat a little bit, but comparatively to the amount of time I'm not fence combating, you know, we're not going to be leaning into that all that much. It's good early on for muscle strain. It really is, but yeah, I don't want to be doing it. It's just because a lot of the time, like I said, I'm not good enough at it, so I'll mess up. But yeah, I'm going to compare different weapons. I'm pretty sure the meat cleaver is going to be up there, though, because like its weight is really good. Stone scythes are also fairly good for their weight. The flint saw is also good for its weight. And it's also worth more than in terms of napping than the stone scythe. And then the crude axe, it's a two-hander. So it's a little bit more exertion based, but it's two-handed. But it also, you know, it weighs 0.6, they weigh 0.3. We'll compare. And then I'm also going to include the regular hatchets as well, and the bone hatchets to see, because I've been dropping those on the ground, so we'll compare them, as well as, you know, if I can get the ice axe involved. The ice axe is fairly good-ish as well. I remember that killing decently. You wish the fire axes? They're really good durability-wise. Their durability and their ability to last is great. If you're level 10 strength, level 10 fitness, they're fine. They're like swinging a crowbar, but with a little bit more damage. So they're good. It's just that you're not using them for their damage. You're using them for the fact that they aren't going to break as much. But fire axes are one of the best weapons in the game, kind of. Like, they're definitely in the top percentile. They're not the best, Depending on which weapon category classification you're looking at, though, and the stats in therein, during late game, of course, is what I mean. They get a high score. Exertion's where they take their hardest hit, though, kind of. Because durability and damage is really great. It's just exertion is the issue for that one. Meanwhile, and renewability. Technically speaking, they are fairly renewable and you will build up a lot of them, but if you compare them to something like the short bat right now, right? The short bat is the spear currently of build 42. Because it's just, you can make like 1,000,000 of them if you want. And they one tap, and you can make them better as well. Like you can upgrade them with cans, or you can upgrade them to be just better weapons overall. And then they last for quite a while. Like they're right now one of the strongest weapons for sure. If I had to put a number, I'd say short bats probably win. But the baseball bat's not bad. I still wish that I managed to get a crowbar earlier on, but if we were to upgrade these bats, they would be fairly decent, as well as they are kind of like good on their own. They're a little costly in the sense that I have to constantly make sure that I'm getting large tree branches for them. So we have to chop down the larger trees, or we have to forage and hope that we get tree branches. So like, but you know, it's tough in that way. So they're not free. They're not as free and not as available as the short bats.